this video how to thread the Janome 1110 DX serger. Really nice that the Janome has color coding. So there's green, purple, blue, and kind of a peachy color. We're always going to be threading from the right to the left. So when I'm threading these thread guides at the top here, I'm even going to be doing those in that same order because the machine seems to like that more than other ways. I've gone through and threaded the green, the purple, and the blue, just the top parts here, and the thread guides. I'm going to show you how I do it with the peach. So you bring your thread from the back to the front, okay, and then you're going to loop it around and then again come in from the back. And then what I like to do is I just lay my thread like this so they're all lined up and ready to go nice and smooth. Okay, so for each of the colors there's a channel that it needs to come down, and inside the channel, right where this tension dial is, there's a tension disc on the inside that we just can't see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my thread like I'm about to floss my teeth, and I'm just going to push it in here and make sure that it's gone through each and every tension disc. And then from this stage forward, I'm going to be only working on each color. So I'm going to do all of the green and get that all threaded, all the purple, all the blue, and all the peach. Okay, so to start this next step, the first thing we need to do is we're going to take off the little thread catcher. Okay, and then there's a door that opens. So you just kind of push this to the right and then it comes down. And this is the inside of the machine. So you can see over here there's a nice little diagram and it tells you what you need to thread. We're just going to start with the green. So there's a guide here. I just wanted you to be able to see that. So I'm going to grab my green thread and we're going to go through this first guide here. Every time I go through a guide, I'm not trying to hold my thread like this, like you would to thread a needle. I'm going to be holding it like this, like you're flossing your teeth. And there's tension. You don't want no tension, you want that tension. When you're doing this, I find it really handy to have a pair of the long tweezers. You'll see a bunch of these hanging around the serger. That's why they're there. It's tricky for you to get your fingers to do what you want them to do in such tight spaces. I changed my view a little bit, so this is a little awkward, but just know on this side, on the right side of your screen, that is the edge of the serger, just so that you can get a good angle and see what I'm doing. The first step is we're going to go through this little guide here, and I'm just going to be going around the guide here. There's a little guide down here, right here. So this one I'm going to be holding it like I am threading a needle. Okay, so I'm taking my thread. And I got it through. And then I'm just going to use my tweezers and grab the back of it like that. The next guide, you can't see from this angle, but on the top of this piece here, there's actually green. So I'm going to take my thread again, and I'm just coming up this time, like this. Next part is a little tricky. So on this piece here, there's actually an arrow, and the arrow is pointing this direction. Your needles need to be up. My needle was not up. Now, I'm going to take this and push it and see a little hook comes through. This one, what I do is I take my thread, holding it in my left hand, kind of up here, and then use your tweezers to get it through the guide like that. I just moved the camera up a bit. This is the guide right here that we just threaded. This is up near the needle. Next is where you're going to hook it around here, and then there's a little teeny tiny hole here, and then we're done with the green one. If your purple one unthreads and that's the only thread that you need to fix, you always have to fix the green one first, unfortunately. I'm going to hold my thread with my left hand, pulling it off to the right of the machine, and then I'm going to grab my tweezers, and then I'm just going to hook that thread like so. I find this really difficult to thread this little part because there's a bar here. So what I like to do is I'll turn my needles or turn my hand wheel towards me until, see how now there's nothing behind it? And just like with a sewing machine, I'm going to trim my thread first so it's nice and sharp. I'm going to hold it with my tweezers, and if you can see here, I'm holding it pretty close to the end. I might even want to go like that. And let's see if I can get it through. So I got it through. Now I'm gonna pull it. This is the presser foot. It's down right now. It should actually be up when you're threading. You shouldn't have. Okay, so now it's up. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna take this. This is the blade right here. So I'm holding the thread in my left hand and I'm just going to tuck it in between the presser foot and the blade without cutting it. And so now that that's like that, I can take that and just move it to the back of the machine. So now it's threaded how it should be. Now we get to move on to the purple. So the purple is still a little tricky, but much easier than the green. So what I'm gonna do is I have my thread here. We're just gonna go through, we'll go through that first guide. The next guide is very simple, so you can use your tweezers to help you, or you can just use your hands. I'm using the tweezers mostly because it's easier for you to see then. Then we're gonna go down here and hook under this one. So after this guide here, we just have 2 more spots. So I'm gonna hold my thread again in my left hand, using my tweezer to add some tension. Okay, and we just need to go through this little hook here, and then I'm going to trim my thread. My thread fell out of this thread guide. So what I am going to do is I'm going to hold my thread with my index finger of my left hand, and I'm gonna get it through that part there. And then I'm gonna take this loop that I've made, and as I'm pulling this through that loop, I'm gonna tuck it through here. Okay, so it is a little backwards there, but I find that's easiest. So this is the purple thread right here that we just threaded. I'm going to take it and again go in between the presser foot and the blade and just pull it to the back. So you always want your threads to go to the back of the machine. All right, good news. We are at the most simple stage of threading the serger. So I'm gonna go to my blue thread, which is right here, and I'm gonna take it, make sure it goes under this thread guide. And this one, you can see it goes across here like this. And then it's just gonna go under, around the thread take-up lever. And then over here, there's 2 slots. It needs to go on the right side. Okay, so I'm gonna get through this little thread guide up here. And then we're gonna go through the eye of the needle. So I just trimmed my thread like I would through the eye of the needle. And then again, I'm just gonna grab it. You can see down here, it's tangling up. So I'm just going to make sure. So once that's threaded, just like the other ones, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna put it in between the presser foot and the blade and push it to the back. The presser foot's down right now, and I will do that once I'm done the peach one. Okay, so now with the peach one, you wanna make sure that this thread goes over top of the blue thread. Then you're gonna go around here, you're gonna go up this thread guide, hook onto it here. Okay, so once you're around that thread guide, you want to go on the right side here. So again, we're gonna go through this thread guide here, and then I'm gonna trim my threads. Okay, and now I'm gonna thread the needle. It's tricky with a serger because there's things that get in your way. Make sure that all those threads go down and behind the presser foot, like that. And then I'm gonna put the presser foot down. We're gonna put this up. That was the door I was shutting. I'm gonna put the little thread catcher on, and now we are gonna run it and see how it goes. So all my threads are to the back. You can see that I have 4 threads here. I like to hold on to them. And you just hold them. And now that I have a nice long tail, I am good. I can leave it like this.